This summer, 30 students and 13 teachers participated in St. Clair County RESA's innovative 2-week competition called Challenge for the Future. In Challenge for the Future, students worked in teams to recommend solutions to real-life problems that local businesses and organizations had not been able to solve. We now proudly present the student group's final presentations to the businesses.
Team 3, this is Port Huron Museum.
I'm Stan Lenarski from Marysville High School.
I'm Casey LaCroix from PH.
I'm Megan from Memphis High School.
And I'm Lucy Wickings from PH. Okay, so right now we'd like you all to imagine the last time that you went to a museum and what you liked and disliked about it.
The Port Huron Museum has presented us with a challenge. How might we design a structure to draw people to visit the Db Harrington Locomotive?
Right now we'd like to give you a little bit of background on the train.
The Db Harrington was built in 1878.
The train was named after Daniel Brown Harrington, who was a capitalist and financier in the Port Huron area.
While still operating, it worked for the D.H. Lumber Company, and since then has been displayed in places such as Traverse City, Cedar Point, and the Henry Ford Museum, and it's ready to be put on display again in Port Huron.
The Port Huron Museum is divided into 4 different sections.
The Huron Lightship,
The Conrad Center.
The Fort Gratiot Lighthouse.
And the Detroit Edison Train Depot.
Our structure would be built within the parameters of this green box here between the Edison Depot and the drive.
Throughout these couple weeks, we went on a few explorations. First, starting with the Marysville location. We went to these locations to kind of give us an idea for our design and what to do and what to not do. While in Marysville, we noticed a few things like rust, vandalism, poor restoration due to like weather and public abuse to the train.
we also went to the Mount Clemens train station to get many architectural design features. They had arched windows, plaques stating the historical significance, paver blocks, and pitch roofs.
Another location that we visited was in St. Clair, and we visited 2 locations there, the Riverwalk and the Oswald Emig Annex. At the Riverwalk, there were 19 locations that consisted of QR codes, but they all linked to the same website, so we'd like to do a better job of specifically directing people to information that they're interested through sites of information and videos. At the Annex, it was inaccessible to the public, and you could only view through windows, but the angle of the sun on the windows made it hard to see through. But when you could see through, it looked as though it doubled as a storage unit and not just an exhibit. But on the bright side, we saw a mural on it, and we decided to incorporate that into our own structure. With in the corner, there's a rough draft of what it would look like with important people in the train's history in the windows.
A combined approach between modern and historical looks, we decided that we would kind of implement both of them in our structure and what we would want it to look like.
We developed a strategy for success under the acronym DART.
Starting with design, we wanted a mural. This mural would be presented to the local high school students to try to get them more involved in their community. This mural would be either painted or get a local artist to paint it for the high school. A pitched roof. This pitched roof would be developed to look more like a historical train station. The lights and visibility from the road so that the public can see it when they're walking by, biking by on a boat, on the river, when they're just out with their families. The walls would be made more to look historical for where the train would be, presented right in that second structure above the lower piece there. It would be glass walls so that the public can see it from the road.
We incorporated many features into our structure to draw on a wide variety of age groups, including children whose interests we would like to spark through interactive materials such as a pullable train whistle inside of the exhibit. Teenagers, we'd like to implement lots of technology, as coming from a group of teenagers ourselves, we know how important that is in our lives. For adults, research shows that 62% of museum goers who are adult aged find that their favorite part of museums is learning about them and learning about exhibits and learning about the history through lots of information. So we'd like to have 3 different kinds of touring through a live guide, an audio guide, and
Augmented reality.
yes, thank you. And we would also like to have the train restored, because research also shows that 17% of people are most averted by the fact that trains are not in good shape, and the train has already been restored before, so we're confident that we wouldn't be harming the integrity of it.
We had many ideas for revenue, starting with a penny press. For every 2 pennies you could press, the museum would gain $1 to help build the structure. Next, there could be a fundraiser for paper blocks. There could be a combined price for a tour, where if you wanted to see the train depot and the train, you could get a combined lower price rather than paying a huge price to see one or the other. Next, there could be endorsements from local businesses like freighters. There could be a depot dinner, where a portion of the proceeds could help to build the structure.
Technology is crucial. We believe that if we put in technology in the structure, that we'll get all sorts of different guests, including for QR codes. We did research interviewing older generation, and they really liked the idea of a QR code because it brings them to different things that they can't access physically. Augmented reality. Augmented reality, shown here, it uses your smartphone or tablet camera using the location that you're in, and it puts objects there that aren't physically there, but they're there that you can see them. It's a cheaper route for the museum. They can put things in that they wouldn't necessarily be able to, and it's just a lot. It's very cool, very cool. It's like a 3D look. Audio tours. Audio tours can be a way that the visitors can look and just be in the spot of where a tour guide would usually be, talking to them and leading them through the exhibit. Social media, like said before, teenagers love social media. You know, it's their whole life. They spend hours and hours on it. Me, myself, I spend at least 3 a day. And so putting a lot of social media out there, giving our ideas out, having hashtags of like the Db Harrington, come visit, that kind of thing we can implement in tours, even for like discounts if they share our page or like our page, different stuff like that.
The next step in our process is to contact MDOT for possession of the property in question through a 99-year lease. But in the meantime, you can plan your visit to the Db Harrington exhibit and have a nice day.